As a lifelong Eagles fan, I've seen my fair share of quarterback drama and controversy. So when the news broke that the Philadelphia Eagles had traded for Kenny Pinkett, I began to have flashbacks of Nick Foles, Carson Wentz, and Jalen Hurts drama. And then it hit me. The Philadelphia Eagles seem to always have quarterback drama, but why is that? It could just be the media looking for drama to spice up for their next big hit piece, or the Philadelphia Eagles must really think there's some quarterback factory. Let's take a deeper dive into what happened in Pittsburgh with Kenny Pinkett, how he became available, why on earth did the Eagles trade for him, and how will this affect Jalen Hurts? The voice of the Eagles show, and like always, God bless those Philadelphia Eagles. But enough of that. Play the video, bro.
It ain't no doggone tomorrow, fellas. What are you gonna bring to the doggone church? Are you gonna bust somebody in their mouth? Are you gonna do your doggone job? Are you gonna pray from your doggone chest? Are you gonna pray from your heart and get everything you doggone got? Cause I'ma do that.
Competition is part of the NFL. Some quarterbacks handle it well, some don't. Jalen Hurts has shown he thrives in those situations, dating back to college with Tua, coming in as a backup, leading his team to a championship, put himself in a position to be a finalist for the HAASON, all while showing extreme character. So it is possible for these type of situations to work out. I think Jalen Hurts embraced competition, and it makes him better by adding a guy that was drafted with the 20th overall pick and high upside. Leaves the door open for speculation regarding how much do the Eagles believe in Jalen. They paid him, so that should be more than enough evidence. They adore him, but they also paid Carson Wentz only to replace him with who? Jalen Hurts. Could Jalen Hurts be sensing he could be done the same way as Carson Wentz was? I'm not sure, but there are speculations. You open the door for those type of conversations when you trade for a guy like Kenny Pinkett. Kenny is an extremely interesting acquisition because Eagles GM Howie Roseman seems to be extremely fascinated by this guy. As you can see here, Howie Roseman with the binoculars scouting him during his college days.
Wow. Tonight, Sam Howell and Kenny Pinkett are Todd McShay with this NFL draft analyst. He's been joining them.
Kenny Pickett is a hometown kid born near Philadelphia and played high school, college, and professional football in the area. Looking at his college achievements and being third place in the Heisman voting and throwing for over 4K yards at Pitt, breaking school records, this kid has it. Pittsburgh Steelers drafting him 20th overall turned out to be a disaster due to offensive coordinator who was absolutely horrible. Matt Canada. He was absolutely horrible at his job. He was worse than Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni this year combined. All right. The guy was simply bad to the point where I don't follow Pittsburgh, but I was even hearing weekly, every week, about how this guy is just so bad and he was fired. You know, that's how bad he was. So they didn't do the kid any favors at all. The things that he were good at doing, they were doing the complete opposite. It was horrible for him. Injuries played a factor as well, but the real question is what on earth went on in Pittsburgh? From my understanding, the Steelers needed an upgrade at the quarterback position, so decided to bring in Russell Wilson to compete with Kenny Pickett. Kenny Pickett found out, had a meeting with Mike Tomlin, and was told that there will be a quarterback competition. But during another meeting, Tomlin told Pickett that Russell Wilson will get most of the snaps, insinuating that Pickett will be the backup. Pickett felt betrayed and lied to, requested a trade, and the rest is history. All right. Now, these are the rumors that I'm getting. They're saying that Kenny Pickett, he's a bad teammate and he has bad energy and why didn't he compete? No, from what I'm seeing here, he was told one thing and the coach came and told him something completely different. Okay, after going through that, I feel as though you broke trust, okay? And if he wants to go compete somewhere else, so now he's in Philly and he wants a job and it looks like he's going to be competing. He wants to start. Competition brings out the best in you. And the training camp is going to be interesting. Jalen Hurts, I really wouldn't be surprised if Jalen Hurts wanted some competition. I mean, it makes you better. And if you notice, after the news broke that Kenny Pinkett was being signed, there was footage that was released of Jalen Hurts throwing, right? So what does that let you know? You know, he's letting us know, hey, I'm working, I'm ready. I think this is good for competition. I think they're going to make each other better. And that's what we need. And again, I like him. He's from the area. I think he has immense talent, and I support all the quarterbacks that come through Philly. So I guess the quarterback factory lives on. When the Philadelphia Eagles made the decision to draft Jalen Hurts in the second round of the 2020 NFL draft, it was viewed as a surprising move in some NFL circles. After all, the team had recently given Carson Wentz a new contract and had won a Super Bowl with Wentz under center for most of the season, only to be replaced by Nick Foles down the stretch due to injury. It's basically like having insurance for your quarterback, right? The backup quarterback would be the insurance policy. Howie Roseman, he would go on to say that this is a quarterback factory, and now that's the quote that always sticks out every time we're in some weird QB controversy. The trade for Pickett is simply in line with what the Eagles have done at the position over the recent years. This is interesting to see how this plays out. I can see this go so many ways, man. Honestly, I like the competition, okay? And we have a solid backup, okay? And he's young, and we don't know how good he can be, all right? So I think the sky's the limit for both of our quarterbacks. I'm really high on both of these guys, but I'll tell you this. If he plays the way he played last year, this year, they're going to be calling for Pickett. Or I'll rephrase it, right? Let's say Pickett was on the team last year. They would have been calling for Pickett. See, now that's a whole nother realm to where I feel like that's where you kind of draw the line. But you always want a good backup quarterback. And if you're going to have a good backup quarterback, those are the conversations that are going to be had. And we've seen situations like this before in Philly, okay? It can get really messy with these quarterbacks. But I'll tell you, Kenny Pickett, I think he's really good in the right situation. And Philly's the right situation for a lot of players. So there's definitely something to keep an eye on. Also, Josh Sweat got a new deal. That's exciting. We go get Bryce Huff in free agency. Now we have Josh Sweat re-signed. So HAASON Reddick looks like the odd man out. And initially, we knew one of our edge rushers were not going to, return. Initially, the first one that I thought about was HAASON Reddick. Okay. And that's only because he's strictly a pass rusher. He needs to be in the right scheme. And he doesn't fit in a lot of people's schemes. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I think he's out, but I would love to have him back. I don't want to get rid of any pass rushers. We'll see what else, the Philadelphia Eagles have in store. It's been a crazy free agency. This is the Voice of the Eagles show. And like always, God bless those Philadelphia Eagles.